what's up everybody? It's another week of SR Synth Weekly. I am, as usual, the Synth Redneck, and I got a lot of good stuff today. We're just going to jump right in because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First up today, we're going to have our good old friend Shaman. Great song, great artist, and all of his stuff is just really awesome. It's a really great synthwave type, well, cinematic period. I mean, he mixes a lot of everything, and it's just really awesome. The song today is Renouveau. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a Renouveau, pick one. This song is a really cool cinematic wave. It kind of gives me that, I'm going to start with, it kind of gives me a title sequence of like a cyber movie. With the new release of that, Cyberbug 2077, this would fit in like pretty much the entire, actually all of his movies would fit in this, in that game. This kind of like gives me that first, title sequence of kind of like a, the cyber movie where the show is showing like a program running in a virtual world is beginning. I don't want to say Matrix or Lawnmower Man, but it's like kind of see them, people getting into the cyber world, and it just shows the programming starting up and loading up. It also kind of gives me that as it could also work in the same form and fashion of the cyber movie, but the group at the start of a scene, they start to come out of the shadows after the evils, like evil program or evil in general, and they've come out of the shadows to confront the main characters in kind of like a fight, kind of like a fight-like movie, where there a lot of virtual fighting or gangland type fighting in a cyber movie, that kind of feel. That's kind of what also gives me. It also kind of gives me that. Sorry, on a completely different note, it kind of gives me that. A person is going through a metamorphosis, and it shows the full change of the person to whatever else. Then at the main break of the movie, at the song, you start seeing them running out and try to figure out what they are and what they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do. I say whatever, they're transmorphing into whatever it is, because it could be a hybrid, vampire, whatever. It works on all levels on that. So check this out, and like I said, check out all of his other stuff, and it's really awesome. So starting out today, we have Shaman, and it's Renouveau. like I said, it kind of works as a great cinematic. I mean, it just works on any level. I kind of like the cyber movie, especially with that game that's coming out. It could work in that great. So definitely check them out. Shaman's always been a great. All of his music is really awesome. So definitely check him out. Next up, we have another friend of ours of the community. Play back on towards the when I first started this. The group is called User, and you know they're out of Seattle. And I got the song today is Chemistry. They call it a down-tempo beat about near-death experience. That's the description they gave me. It gives me a lot to work with, but I don't want to say near-death on it too much. I'm going to go with like a sci-fi adventure. It's the main character theme, because it kind of works on all levels, but that's what when I was thinking about it, that's what I think of today. It's kind of like you see the main character and you see him moving to the city at the beginning. You know, he's kind of like that fighter, you know, hero stance. You know he's the hero and you know he's the main fighter just by the song and the way he acts in the scene. And it kind of gives him that, you know, he's hero to save the future. Sorry. Hero saves the future love interest. And you see them starting to connect. That's kind of also what I kind of feel like. You see them kind of connect after he saves her, and you start seeing them get more and more closer to each other. You know, they get closer and closer to each other until they finally, you know, get to have their little, you know, they finally get together at the climax of the movie. So that's kind of what it gives me feel. Also, kind of gives me that feel of like a team traveling to the location to fight the bad guys. Knowing they're not going to make it back. It's kind of like one of those suicide things. And you see them, you know, as they're traveling, you see them in thought. And, you know, it just kind of gives them all that thought. They start to do the remembrance of everything that's about to happen, or, you know, the memory of what in the past that they're fighting for. All of those kind of give me, it's kind of like, it just gives me that whole adventure feel to it. And, you know, fighting type. So definitely check it out. As always, check out all their other stuff. This song's really awesome, and along with all of it, but like I said, check this out. It's User, and the song is called Chemistry.
Above are taking form. My pressure's dropping and my pulse is low. My vision slowly starts to go. Today's a good day to die. Set something inside. The chemistry of me doesn't wanna be alive. Eyes closed, dark
like I said, that works out of just any cinematic way. His music's always great. It could work in any kind of movie, but I like the fighting style. So definitely check out his stuff and check out the rest of his music because it's really awesome. Next up today, we have a group called Eyeball. They call themselves a psychedelic neo-space rock. Kind of works. They're kind of like that 70s, 80s vibe, so it works. The song today is called Crawling Creatures, and their description is creepy. That's all, and it kind of works out. Kind of reminds me of the old psychedelic horror movie. This song, this is like that grindhouse. The horror and the main villain is being shown walking around the city in clubs, finding his victims. Kind of like in that 80s, early 80s tone. Kind of gives you that psychedelic rock while he's just scouring for his victims, and you get to see that whole like montage scene. Works perfectly for that. Also kind of gives me that, I don't know if everybody here has probably seen a full moon horror movie, from Puppet Masters and stuff like that, the Trancers, kind of gives me that style where the evil dolls are like Killjoy. The main team is creeping along, and they gather together, and you see them all start to gather in each room, from their respective places into this one section, to the main leader. In this fact, I'll use Killjoy. All of his lackeys get together, and they come to see him, and it kind of gives you that whole sensuous kind of deal. But it just kind of works on pretty much any thing like that. Full Moon would work best on all of their movies. Any kind of grindhouse, this song would fit in. So definitely check it out. It's a really cool song. It's really really catchy. So check it out. It's the group is called Eyeball, and the and the song is called Crawling Creatures.
layers, gathering parasites of light and wonder, be at one with the sky. Embrace the lie of illumination, a shining deceit from above encircles you all. And then the crawling creatures, paralyzed, victims of light's illusion from the sky. Lead down into the nothing, from far away, all burning, flaming madness, finding minds in the
If that doesn't give you that kind of like grindhouse feel, grindhouse and psychedelic horror movie, I don't know what else will. Really good song. The rest of the music also is really awesome, so definitely check them out. As always, you can get their links. You can follow them on their social media links that I put down below in the description. Make sure you're following them. Make sure you just buy their stuff and support them, because everybody needs your help. Next up, I'm going to screw this up, and this is kind of confusing. The group is called Hieronymus, FTP. They're an EBM techno group. Like I said, if there's any music, send it to me. So I'm going to play it all. So, sorry. This is an EBM techno group out of Perth, Australia. And the reason I say that because the name of the song is really hard for me to say, but I'm going to attempt. The name of the song is called Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk. And that's why it kind of confused me at first, because it says they're out of Perth, Australia, and I'm getting a complete German name, so it kind of threw me off for a minute. This song, as they say, is just a simple song about rebellion. It's not really simple at all. This kind of gives me that the hero entering a building kind of thing. Like I said last week, a lot of these main beat things, you got the heroes going in, when he's starting to kick ass. But this one gives me that, montage of, kind of like the hero and his team are walking in, and they've walked in, they're not being seen, they're kind of evading all the people and security and stuff to go, turn off a system. Excuse me. They have to evade all the bad guys to turn off like a alarm system, or they have to rob something, and it kind of gives you that feel, but about midway through the song, it kind of gives you that something went wrong and now they've got to hurry. It just kind of gives me that whole vibe. It also kind of gives me, and I don't know if they want to say that too, but kind of gives me that Chris Pohl from like Blue Dangle, Misconstruction, kind of that feel. Also kind of gives me the Combi Chris feel. It just, I don't know why, because I like both of them, so kind of gives me that feel too. So it kind of gives you just that, good bass and, heavy synth line to it. So also, finally, it kind of gives me that, as I like to do movies, it kind of gives you the main character, I'll use it this way. It kind of gives me the main characters going into a fight, like, a evil cyber half-breeds, kind of like at the beginning, and as the song progresses, they swarm around him, but he defeats them and just moves on, and he saves the person who was originally about to be attacked. That's kind of what it gives me. Like I said, it all works as one movie, so it kind of just, that feel. So definitely check it out. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to screw this up, so if I do and it's completely wrong, please tell me, and I'm going to apologize. The group is called Hieronymus, and the song is called Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk.
Du bist spät. Du bist immer spät. Was sagst du dazu?
Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk.
Was?
Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk.
Nein.
Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk. Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk. Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk. Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk. Kurzschliess, das Netzwerk.
like I said, it kind of works on all that whole level. I like the kind of evading in the the building kind of thing better. But like I said, check it out. Check out the rest of the stuff. It's really awesome too. I was checking it out as I was doing all this. So check out their pages and make sure you follow them all. Next up, we have Kung Pao, and no, I'm not meaning the food. They're a he calls himself like a mid-tempo hip hop. Yes, it kind of gives me that, but there's this song he sent me just instrumental. He didn't put any words with it, so it kind of works on just the straight up synth EBM type hip hop style. So, and the song today is called Cyberterrorismirl or Cyberterrorismirl or IRL. The way it was written is kind of hard. This kind of gives me that, I mean, yeah, it's hip hop and everything, but it kind of gives me more of a sci-fi feel. It's kind of like we're at the end of the movie and you start seeing the world change. Like I said last week, I've got a lot of those, but you kind of see the world change, and after the team and hero, they've beaten the evil, and everything is transitioning back from the evil ways to turning into light, blah blah blah. That kind of feel with it. Just the world is transitioning away from the evil. Kind of also gives me an anime style. I haven't had many anime feels, but this one kind of gives me that anime feel where the character is going through the main transformation. I'm not going to use like Dragon Ball or anything like that, but something a little bit more adult. You see them transitioning after they've been bitten or they've been given some kind of superpower. They become something else and they become really strong at it, and you see them in that whole light show, and it kind of gives you that whole transition feel. It also kind of gives me that outro feel. I want to say the world is changing along with the characters, and the beat of the whole song is just kind of like as the beats hit, you can see the world changing. So when the beat hits, you got something happening, and it kind of gives me that whole outro feel. As the world is just changing for the better or for the worse if you're doing a sequel. But that's just kind of that all can kind of work in one movie, like an anime, where the world changes. So that kind of works. So definitely check it out. I like the song. It's kind of short. I kind of wish it was longer, but that's the artist may have had. I didn't get to really check the rest of it, but he may have had it may go into another song. So check it out. It's Kung Pao and it's Cyberterrorism. like I said, it kind of works out for pretty much anything. It kind of, like I said, I kind of like the excuse me. I kind of like the world changing to the beat on an anime. That kind of works. So definitely check it out. As always, their links are down in the description, and so make sure you follow them all. Next up today, it's a different spelling, and I didn't get to check it. The band is called A.P.A.C.H.E. It's a A.P. You can see that in the description. I've had them. I've listened to them for a few while. It's A.P.A.C.H.E. They're out of Brazil, so it's really awesome. The song today they've given me is called Saboteur, and they have given me a good description on it. So let me read that first, and then I'll add my little tidbit to it. It's like, there's been a surge of attacks in a town, radio stations, TV channels, newspapers, government buildings, and websites. No one knows who's exactly behind everything. The explosions, the bank robberies, the graffiti was threats to society and its ruling forces. A letter has been recently made public. Its contexts are not yet published. Only the author's name, Le Saboteur. Obviously, he spent some time, making a whole story out of this. So I'm going to definitely say, check out the rest of the music so we can get the whole story. It's really awesome. As usual, I use my own little thing, and I kind of went that same boat. I went with a kind of a mastermind is progressing through his plans, and the scene, where it starts, he's like, make it start happening, and all of his minions. You see the machines, it's starting, and kind of like that climax where he's telling the troops and telling everybody to head out, and you start seeing them just wreak havoc, and the world being devastated, or the area, kind of like that kind of feel. Also, kind of heroes are. It kind of gives that same feel while he's destroying the world and everything. The heroes are trying to get there, and it's that main climax. The heroes are trying to get there, and the evil's just laughing at him, trying to stop. Because he knows that they can't stop him at this point. Kind of gives you that. Also, kind of gives me a horror movie feel. I know I can go it kind of goes both ways. Excuse me. It's kind of like that title sequence. It kind of gives me. I always say kind of gives me. That horror sequence where, the main evil's being created, either through a bottle or programming, robotics, whatever. It works at the whole thing, and you see him being created, or it being created for something, and then you see a bunch of troops being created along with it, and you see them all starting to gather together, and then once they start getting there, they just start running amok to start the program. And about mid-song, the heroes, excuse me, the heroes start rushing in to fight the evil, and it just kind of, as the song progresses, it's like the creation to the, devastation, and the heroes come, and then it, gives me that the heroes are fighting feel towards the end. It's a really great song, so I definitely listen to it, and it's one to definitely download, along with all of them. They're all great to download, just make sure you do. Like I said, it's a great song, so check it out. It's A.P.A.C.H.E, and the song is called Le Saboteur. like I said, I mean, it just works on that whole, mastermind kind of movie. That's kind of the feel I get. So definitely check it out and definitely download it and download everybody else's music. Last up today, and I'm going to screw this up. It's a group out of Sweden, so apologies ahead of time if I screw this name up. It's either Per Ohlson or Per Ohlson. And I apologize if that's the wrong saying of it. The song today is called Fourth Wave. His description on it was kind of like an atmosphere that brings you back to the 80s. This is a perfect representation of how true that is. This gives you that whole computer movie a la Tron. That's kind of like, it's kind of like that neon-filled, computerized universe. Everything is controlled or run by computers, and, it just gives you that whole atmospheric feel that you're in a computerized world now. Also kind of gives me, on the same note, I mean, it's the same thing as the hero, the main hero's showing in a world of light. He's a hybrid man-machine anti-hero kind of type that shows up shows up during a fight, of different groups, and he just, he defends the innocent, even though he's not either good or bad. He's just defending the innocent that's, that's being devastated upon. Also, on that same light, it's kind of like, could be as like his main character feel of the anti-hero in this neon-filled world, but also about midway through, kind of gets that the lover and him the hero and the lover come together about mid movie, speaking about his past, and you've seen those where the lover's trying to get some information from him, and he's and the hero's just not really forthcoming, and then all of a sudden he starts opening up, and you start hearing his backstory, and towards about midway through, it's sad and everything, but at the same time, it kind of goes into a love scene. That's kind of what it feels like. All of that works as one movie, but it just, like you said, it just gives you the whole romantic, not romantic, but actually I will say that. The whole romantic feel of the 80s, Tron feel. So, I love the song. I love the rest of his music too, is really awesome. So definitely check it out and download it. It's Per Ohlson, and it's called Fourth Wave. That's it for this week. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of movies or what kind of feeling you think for these songs this week. I'd like to know what you think. You know, because I just put these little videos together, and you know, I like to put movie scenes, but everybody has their own little, you know, little take on it. So let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you follow me on Twitter at Synth Redneck. Also, make sure you follow all these artists on here. Make sure you follow their Twitter, Bandcamp. Follow them on Spotify, you know, whatever their sites are. Make sure you're following them. Download their music and help them out. Help them grow their audience and their, you know, their love of music. That's it today. Again, thank you again, and like always, like and subscribe. Tell your friends, because I need help. Tell your friends to come check this out. Let everybody know, and I hope everybody has a great week. And I'll see you in the synth world. Have a good one. Bye.